Welcome, friends. So, we know that what we are is unharmable. It's this infinite movement, timeless, boundless, indestructible, potent, a core vibrancy. And then we experience something that feels like being taken advantage of. Well, what do I do? How do I notice that this is not me? How do I use it to discover more fully what I am? So say I'm in a situation where it looks like I've been taken advantage of. I contributed something, the other person didn't reciprocate, or I contributed something that was a push for me and it turns out the other person didn't really need it, or, used it for personal gain instead of towards the objective that we thought we were working towards, whatever it is. It looks like I contributed and then I got what I thought was taken advantage of. So I just stop and look. What's the belief here causing me to suffer? The belief is that I contributed something towards a particular goal. This person was going to blank. They were going to use it for some good, or they were needing it for some purpose, or they were going to return in favor in some way. And that didn't happen. So my belief is wrong. Why I gave it was not that. I didn't give it, as it turns out, to get something back or to help them end their need. I didn't get it to reach a particular goal. That isn't what happened. So something else moved me to give in this situation. Now, maybe in the future, I won't give in that same way. But in this moment, I have. And so something else moved me. What could it be that moved me in this moment? I thought it was my expectation, but it wasn't. Something else. So I just sit and feel into that movement that poured forth that contribution out of me. Well, there actually was a particular engagement. There was a particular interest. There was some amount of love. There was a sort of generosity that flowed through me in that contribution I made. And rather than really appreciating that flowing through me, I've looked at, it was, output, it took from me, and now I need this other thing to happen to make it worth it. But that is an interpretation. The truth is, somehow in the moment, there was the sufficiency of love, the sufficiency of energy, the sufficiency of interest to contribute. There really was. And that hope for something else to come back, that was not true. That's not what happened. And now I just settle into, right, how amazing. I had no idea that I would have enough love and enough interest to do it in this circumstance. When it turns out the person isn't going to reciprocate, or the person isn't going to value it, or the person isn't going to actually need it, whatever it is that makes me feel taken advantage of. I had no idea that there would be sufficient love, sufficient energy, sufficient resources, sufficient interest to contribute even in this situation. And what I discover is that there's an innate generosity that moved this body-mind. And I just cherish that innate generosity. How amazing, how free, how unlimited, how boundless, how able. That, wow, that flowed through me even in this scenario that I wouldn't have expected. And I may in the future not do the same thing again in that same situation. Who knows? Who knows how I'll be moved? But in that moment, there was the love, the interest, the cherishing, the resources, the energy. It was there and it happened. And I'm amazed at that level of generosity. Even here in this situation where it didn't seem to get reciprocated or appreciated or, reach the end I thought it would reach, there was plenty, even for this. And I look at nature. This is the nature of what we are. Look at how many seeds are produced by every plant and how few usually erupt as new plants. There's like this boundlessness. There's so much abundance all over, that I just feel, oh, right, this is an opportunity to notice. There's such greater abundance than I would have thought. I would have thought these resources need to go towards this goal. No. There's been no advantage taken. No, there's only been an expression of the nature of abundance that we are. And I just open into the wonder, into the gratitude, into the cherishing that, wow, this turns out to be what I am. That contributing, that generous, that abundant, that free. That is what I am. And oh, I'm so glad that I checked and challenged that assumption that I'd been taken advantage of. And instead, I open up into this abundance that we are.